Hello, everybody. It is Carrie Wilt of The Well Tended Life. And just a reminder, The Well Tended Life is the thing that FHB and me grew up to be, where each week I come on here and do my best to encourage you on your walk to living the best well-tended life that you can live. And here is today's life lesson from this not so secret gardener. So as I was getting dressed this morning, I was reminded of a story when my son was born, which is 16 years ago, actually to be 17 years in May. When he was born, my first kid, everybody came to our house, aunts, uncles, friends, family. And the first thing they ever did when they walked in the house was, give me that baby. And I'm the same way. I'm like, give me that baby. I want to hold that baby. And everybody was that way except for one person. And the only person that they deviated from that pattern was my mother. And every day that she would come in, before she'd ask me how my son Lawson was, before she would check on that baby, the first thing my mother did every single time was ask me a bunch of questions. How are you? Have you eaten today? Did you get a shower? Are you sleeping? And she was the only one that came in and wondered about my welfare, because she knew what I didn't know yet, which was you can't pour from an empty cup. She knew that I couldn't give my newborn son what he needed until I had fed myself, until I had had rest, until I had had my needs filled. And I was reminded of that lesson this morning because I tried this morning to pour from a very empty cup this morning. And the only thing that came out of that empty cup was tears and frustration. And as I sat after the tears poured out and the frustration had left, I started looking back at my week. And yes, it was a hard week. By any stretch of the imagination, it was a hard week. But what I didn't do was I didn't fill up my cup in the middle of that hard week. I allowed the hard to deviate me from the things that I know fill me up and make me whole enough to be able to pour into those around me. One of them is my journal. I looked back, and although I journaled every day, it was like partial journals. I did it, but I didn't really do it. I barely got 2 walks in all week long. Usually I'm a pretty much everyday walker. I just kind of started looking down the laundry list, and I wasn't filling up my cup. So that's really your life lesson for today. No matter what is going on around you, you have got to take care of yourself. You've got to fill up your cup before you can pour into others. And I hope that maybe this sheds a little light on that and a little life lesson from my mama way back in the day. So that is it. That's your life lesson from this not so secret gardener. Hey, if you heard something today that you think somebody else needs to hear, or maybe you needed to hear it, give us a little comment below. The way this thing works is every time you comment, you unlock the door so that other people can see this message. And maybe it wasn't you today that needed to hear it, but maybe there's somebody out there in your newsfeed that needs to hear it. So share it on, tag a friend who maybe is not filling up their cup well these days. And until next time, y'all, blessings and blooms. Bye.